What's up? Welcome to Sixx Daze. I am Bob Sixx. Today, I'm going to talk about a suggested topic, which is the effects that horror movies may or may not be having on teenagers. I'm also going to throw video games in there because that's one of the top things that's blamed, instead of the child actually having, or the teen actually having problems, mental issues that should be dealt with, or a shitty home life, or just a shitty kid. I know a lot of people like to think that we're all capable of being rehabilitated. That's not true. What I find odd is people have no problems believing that a dog is bad. It's just a bad dog. Put it down. Newsflash, we're just animals too. There are just fucking bad people. Before anybody flips out and goes, oh my God, he's talking about killing kids. Not what I'm saying at all. I am saying that not everybody can be rehabilitated. There's mental issues that are not being addressed. I went through my whole life, well, most of my life, without them really being addressed. They discovered some problems when I was about 14. It is what it is. I had to learn to deal with it. I realized that not everybody can deal with it on their own. They need help. I've worked really hard because I found out really young that I have some issues. So I worked really hard to avoid them. I probably should be on some sort of meds, but I'm not. But there are people that need help and they're not getting the help. So there's that goes into the whole thing. I see this one that walks around who's textbook schizophrenic, carrying on full-fledged conversations every single day, and she's just walking the streets. She's homeless. Walks the streets. People try to help her. Sometimes she takes shit. Sometimes she's kind of bitchy about it. Whatever the case. People try to help her, so... Excuse me. But she probably needs to be on meds, and since she's homeless, I'm pretty sure she's not getting them. As far as movies and video games, the way they affect teenagers, I grew up in a generation where we had horror films, and yes, looking back now, a lot of them were stupid, but at the time, they were the same to us as these films are to these kids. A lot of it has to do with your home structure, your parents. Both my kids grew up watching horror films. Now, we didn't let them watch extreme violence or explicit sex scenes. We'd tell them to close their eyes, but they watched some pretty scary shit, and people would always go, well, how can you let your kids watch that? Because we're right there with them. We're explaining to them, this is just acting. When this scene's over, that person gets up and goes on. You'll see them in other movies, and we'd point them out in other movies. Now, if you did that in real life, that person would die, be dead. They don't get up. They don't never get to see their family again. Their family never get to see them again. So we took the time to explain that to our kids. A lot of parents aren't. Please don't go, well, we do. I'm not talking about you. If you're doing the correct thing as a parent, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those shitty parents that just let the kids do whatever as long as they're not in their hair bothering them. That's the parents I'm talking about. I've said it before, you have to listen to their music, you've got to watch what they're watching, regardless of what you think. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Back to what I was saying. I grew up with violent movies, violent cartoons, the graphics weren't as violent when I was a kid, but violence everywhere. But we grew up normal. There were kids that did what you see now. The difference was the media wasn't exploiting it back then. They exploit it now. That's the other thing. Like video games. Everybody likes to jump on and go, oh, it's the video games. You realize how many millions of video games are sold. Do your own research. As always, I'm trying to encourage you to go look and do your own research. But go look at how many violent crimes committed by teenagers where they blame it on the video game or they even played video games. The number in comparison to how many video games are sold and being played is so minute, you can't say that. That's not even a valid argument. That's someone looking for a quick fix and go, oh, well, there's the problem. Take 100 million grains of rice and put it into a pile and scoop off a million even. The crimes I'm talking about aren't even in the millions, but scoop off a million grains of rice from a pile of 10 million. You wouldn't even notice they're missing other than the pile that you separated. My point is, yes, there probably are some kids that the games and the movies and stuff attribute to what they've done, but it's because they already have mental issues that are not being addressed with. Normal, well-balanced children know the difference between fantasy and reality. If you've never seen it, if you have Hulu, you can go look at it. Look up Penn and Teller's show, Bullshit. They actually cover this, and you'll get to see what a real child, his reaction to actually firing a real gun. I'm not saying all kids are that way. Most kids that are comfortable with guns were raised with guns, and they know to respect them. They don't play with them. Most. Please, there's exceptions to every rule, so don't say, well, I knew this kid and he grew up in a super great family, was super rich, didn't play video games and all this stuff. That kind of proves my point, but, or if, whatever, there's any argument that can be made. I'm just giving my opinion and a generalization of what I think and why I think it. The cartoons, people blame cartoons all the time. Oh, and they've fucked up. There's very few good cartoons on these days. I'm not saying the violence is what made them good. It's just they've fucking crushed them down so much to where a lot of them are just stupid. And the other thing, trying to teach lessons, they put some garbage on there, and I know I've addressed this before. Little cartoon Franklin, piece of shit. I never let my kids watch it. My daughter, and as well as us when we're watching her, don't let any of them watch it. We didn't let them watch it. We're not letting her watch it. Because what the message it gives is I can do whatever the fuck I want, no matter how fucked up it is, and then just say sorry and everything's better. That's not the case, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, however you want to be addressed. I always give the analogy, jump off a building and yell, I'm sorry. That's the same impact that saying, I'm sorry when you purposely did something fucked up and you're just apologizing and trying to make it better. Same thing. It means nothing. People that don't like, I've been watching a lot of documentaries and stuff like that. People that don't like these video games are trying to make sure that nobody has access to them. That's none of your business. I've addressed that before too. It's none of your business. You control your home, what's happening in your home with your family. You have no right to come to my home and interfere at all. None. I've already raised 2 well-adjusted children. They're both great young adults. That doesn't mean they're perfect. That means that they're great. They're good people, hardworking, responsible, honest. So, I got sidetracked. Now I go with the stuff again. I'm trying to keep this one short because apparently my videos are a little long. And not all of you are watching all of them. You wouldn't want me to come into your home and talk the way I do, which is cussing, which I guess sometimes it seems like it's having negative effects on my videos, and sometimes it's not. So, but you wouldn't want me coming to your home, talking the way I do, teaching your kids my values and how I feel, preaching my religion or lack of, however you want to word it. You wouldn't want me to do that, and I wouldn't do that because it's not my place. See, it's not your place to tell me what I can or can't watch, what I can or can't let my family watch. So, all this into a big bow. I don't blame the movies. I blame mental health issues and home lives. if you don't have a kid or a parent sitting there telling the child it's not real, showing them love and attention, because if you just leave them alone on their own devices, they're just going to go that way. So I don't really feel that movies or video games or songs or any of that stuff, everything that people want to point the finger at real quick and go, oh my God. No, I don't think that's the case. I think it's mental issues and home life. So that's my outtake. You think something different, please feel free to leave a comment or message me privately. I'll never out you. I appreciate those of you that are hanging in there watching. I need more subscribers, so please, if you're here, click the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever you want. I actually got my first thumbs down the other day on my corporal punishment in school. It's probably somebody got their ass beat. I think I mentioned that in the last video, but I'm not sure, but I wanted to bring it up again. So, thank you for watching. I'll be back next week. Don't forget to send me some suggestions on shit you want to hear. Until next time, I am Bob Sixx. See? Real, no editing. Peace.